Since arriving, the winger has featured 58 times for the Blues, scoring only 7 times and providing 4 assists, which simply isn't good enough. However, positive news is on the way for the number 10, with one Chelsea target having the potential to unleash the real Mudryk, if he were to join. As per a report from GIVEMESPORT, Chelsea are eyeing a move for Premier League ace Milos Kerkez to replace Mark Cucurella or Ben Chilwell. It's mentioned that the Hungarian is a priority target for the club, as they look to bolster the left-back position this summer. However, Bournemouth won't let him go on the cheap, as they're set to demand a big fee for their 2023 summer arrival. That said, the positive for the Blues is that the number 3 is keen on a move to Chelsea, as he views the club as an opportunity to progress his career. Considering he's had to adapt to the Premier League quickly at just 20 years old, Kerkez had an impressive first season in England. The Hungary international made 28 league appearances last campaign, starting 22 of those, operating in a Bournemouth team that conceded 1.8 goals per game. His role at the Cherries was to mainly provide defensive security and focus on preventing the opposition, as shown by their 44.1% possession on average. However, at Chelsea, it's fair to say that Kerkez would thrive, even having the potential to turn Mudryk into a monster. As you can see from the table, hardly any of Kerkez's stats are absolutely amazing or stand out, but it's important to bring the environment into context when comparing performance levels. It's fair to say that at Bournemouth, Kerkez has been shackled into adopting a playstyle that doesn't suit his game, as by nature, he's a flying fullback. The defender only registered 1 assist last campaign, and his overall in-possession statistics were rather poor, but his stats in the UEFA Europa Conference League when playing for AZ Alkmaar give an indication of his true ability, with football scout Jacek Kulig describing him as magnificent during his time at the club. At any given opportunity, Kerkez will look to bomb forward and provide attacking support, whether that's via an overlap or an underlap, as shown in the clip below. According to reports, Chelsea have a broad agreement in place to sign Aston Villa striker Duran in a deal that could be worth around £40 million. One of Chelsea's leading priorities during this summer's transfer window is to sign a new striker to compete with Nicolas Jackson. 8 forwards are understood to be on their radar, with Napoli's Victor Osimhen and Sporting Lisbon's Victor Gyökeres among the most expensive options. Duran is one of their more surprising targets. The 20-year-old is behind Ollie Watkins in the pecking order at Aston Villa, but scored 8 goals in his 37 appearances across all competitions since Todd Boehly's consortium completed its takeover of Chelsea. The Stamford Bridge regime have focused on signing up-and-coming talents, whose value should increase while they're at the club. The Colombia international fits into this transfer formula, and it has been suggested that he could be involved in a swap deal involving Conor Gallagher. The England midfielder is out of contract in 2025, and his pure profit sale would help to ease Chelsea's financial fair play problems. The Blues, Villa and 4 other Premier League clubs must sell in the coming weeks to avoid a points deduction for breaching profit and sustainability rules. According to a report from The Telegraph, Villa and Tottenham Hotspur are interested in Gallagher. As for Duran, it is claimed that Chelsea have been granted permission to discuss personal terms, while Villa are considering signing a second Blues player. The Telegraph reported on Friday that the Blues and Villa had broadly agreed on a deal worth up to £40 million for Duran, with Chelsea given permission to discuss personal terms, but added there were still a few hurdles to overcome. However, The Guardian have subsequently reported Chelsea are unsure if they should press ahead with a move for the Colombia international. The report adds that some people at Villa are believed to have raised questions about the striker's attitude, with the Blues carrying out background checks on Duran. The Guardian add another potential stumbling block could be his wages, although Chelsea are believed to want to put Duran on a heavily incentivized contract should he sign for the club, and not offer him big wages straight away. Duran joined Villa from MLS side Chicago Fire in January 2023, and has made 48 appearances to date, scoring 8 goals. The 20-year-old started just 3 Premier League games under Unai Emery last season as Villa qualified for the Champions League, and found the back of the net of 5 occasions. The transfer window hasn't officially opened yet, but it's already been a busy summer for Chelsea. Todd Boehly has appointed a new manager in Enzo Maresca, and he's already secured the club's first signing in Tosin Adarabioyo. But Adarabioyo's arrival could be just the beginning for Chelsea. The club are now pursuing a move for Michael Olise and John Duran as well. Although there is one player who Chelsea has targeted, but who now looks unlikely to make the move to Stamford Bridge. That player is Philip Jorgenson, who has been on Chelsea's radar as well as Liverpool's and Newcastle United's as well. It's no secret Chelsea would like to bolster their goalkeeping options even despite the impressive form of Dord Petrovic towards the end of the season. Jorgenson would have been a smart addition for the Blues, having been one of the best goalkeepers in La Liga last season. However, Chelsea's chances of bringing him to the club have been dealt a major blow. Villarreal's official website has announced that Jorgenson has signed a new long-term contract with the club. The deal will see his deal extended to 2029, and that will definitely dissuade potential suitors from making a move this summer. But that doesn't mean clubs will not be lining up for Jorgenson in the future. At 22 years old, he is a very young goalkeeper, and if he maintains his high level of performances at Villarreal, sooner or later he will make the step up to a bigger team. Whether that will be at Chelsea or elsewhere, it remains to be seen. One thing is guaranteed: there will be plenty of clubs keeping their eye on the goalkeeper in the coming season ahead. But for now, Chelsea will have to turn their attention elsewhere in their attempts to bring in a goalkeeper this summer. Napoli striker Victor Osimhen has launched a scathing attack on former Nigeria head coach Finidi George after he was accused of pulling out of games for the national team with minor injuries. Nigeria's national team is currently in crisis, with Finidi resigning less than 2 months after he was appointed as Jose Peseiro's replacement. Their hopes of securing qualification for the 2026 World Cup were dealt a major blow this month after a 1-1 draw against South Africa was followed up by a 2-1 defeat away to Benin, which has left them 5th in Group C with 3 points from 4 games. Before his resignation this week, Finidi held talks with Nigeria's sports minister, John Eno, as well as senior members of the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, and during the meeting he is said to have questioned Osimhen's commitment to the national team. Finidi said the Napoli striker could still have managed to play these matches. A source told Politics Nigeria. The coach went on to say that it appears that Osimhen chooses the games he plays for Nigeria and he cannot beg him to play for his country. Osimhen, who scored 15 goals for Napoli in Serie A this season and has attracted interest from Arsenal and Chelsea, says he suffered an ankle injury against Lecce on May 25 and was told by Finidi not to link up with Nigeria's national team for their 2 World Cup qualifiers this month following the results of the MRI scan. And the Napoli striker has now angrily hit back at Finidi's claims during an Instagram live video on Saturday. "I won't let anyone believe anything about me. I don't just address anything. Everybody knows when I play for Nigeria I play my heart out. I just let everything go. But I won't disrespect from anybody," an irate Osimhen said during the video. "I knew things like these would happen, and that's why I have the videos and screenshots of when I called Finidi while I was with the doctor in Germany. I got an injury in the last match I played against Lecce, in the last minutes, on my ankle, and I went to the MRI scan. And I called Finidi there for him to listen to the doctor too. I called him, Finidi, and asked him to allow me to come to the camp to be with the boys, and I spoke to some of my teammates too, but he said I have to be with my family. I'll share the screenshot and videos of my conversation with Finidi for the sake of those believing what Finidi said. I've lost respect for that man because before I disrespect anybody, I always respect them.